Emmanuel Macron has won the first round of France's presidential election. Moments after voting ended, the projected results were beamed into his Paris headquarters.
We are very happy with this result. We fought for this. We have been behind Emmanuel Macron for months now, and we are really happy that it's ending like this.
He's going to win the second round. There is no question anymore.
Emmanuel Macron quit the government last year, formed his own party and ran for the presidency. It was a shot, it was a gamble, but it's paid off. He's through to the second round, the French presidency now within touching distance. Macron has run a maverick campaign, positioning himself as neither left-wing nor right-wing and promising to modernise France. He's captivated the country.
My dear countrymen, today, Sunday, April 23rd, the French people spoke, as the country is going through an unprecedented moment in its history, marked by terrorism, economic challenges, social suffering of workers, and urgent environmental problems. They've responded in the most beautiful way, by voting en masse.
But the race for the Elysée is not over. Macron will face off against far-right candidate Marine Le Pen in the second round on May the 7th. He's expected to beat her, but a win for Macron is by no means guaranteed. Hoping to prevent a shock Le Pen victory, François Fillon from the Republican Party and Benoît Hamon from the Socialists, who are both out of the race now, urge their supporters to vote for Macron in the second round. Whatever happens next, there has been a seismic shift to the political landscape here in France. The leftist and centre-right parties, which have dominated French politics for decades, are gone. In their place, two very different candidates with two very different visions for France. Kate Parkinson, CGTN, Paris.
Kate Parkinson joins us now live from Paris with more data on this. Kate, good to see you. Among other things, Mr. Macron wants to change how France's very cherished 35-hour work week is applied. So how will this work out in practice, though, and how much opposition is he likely to face in implementing these proposed reforms?
Well, as you mentioned, the polls do predict that Emmanuel Macron will win in the second round runoff on May the 7th. But in many ways, that could be the easy part. He may find that governing France is much more difficult. He may also find that while French voters appear happy to vote for a reformer, they may be less likely to embrace the changes he wants to make. Don't forget, Emmanuel Macron was the economy minister for the incumbent socialist president, François Hollande, and backed Hollande's reform packages that faced very stiff opposition when the government tried to push them through. The labour unions were fighting in the streets, tooth and nail, over these proposed labour reforms. Eventually the government got them through, but they were very watered down, and Hollande wasn't even touching the cherished 35-hour working week. So Emmanuel Macron, I think it's fair to say, if he does win this, is definitely going to face opposition here in France. In fact, he can expect a showdown with unions over some of his proposals.
Indeed. This is the first time that neither the Conservatives nor the Socialists have a candidate in the second round of the election in decades. So should we expect the apathy that voters have displayed on Sunday to extend to the legislative elections in June?
I think it's more despair and a dismissal than an apathy. I think voters have very clearly said that they want change, that they're fed up with the old guard, the established parties, and that's why we don't see the Republicans or the Socialists, the parties that have dominated politics, as you said here, for decades, really, for the history of the Fifth Republic. They are now out of the picture. But it is going to get interesting when it comes to the legislative elections, both for Emmanuel Macron and for Marine Le Pen. For Marine Le Pen, in many ways, it's going to be easier. She does have an established party behind her. Macron only formed his party en marche last year. And while he says that if he wins, he'll have the momentum to get people to vote for his MPs. It's certainly going to be difficult. And indeed, if he does win the presidency, he may find himself without an outright majority in the
All right, a bit unfortunate there, but it seems that we have lost Kate Parkinson, of course. She was live in Paris. We were, of course, talking about the result coming out on Sunday, and of course what that implies not just for the second round of voting, but also for the legislative elections and the policies thereafter that come in June.